Good morning, friends and neighbors. I mentioned I was going to take some radiation readings in the Portland area, and this is how I do it. This is a SafeCast meter. It was a kit. You get the parts and you solder it together, and it's not really for a beginner, but it would be a challenge. So what I do with this is I charge it up. I'm using this in a stationary mode. It's meant really, the way it collects data and ties it to a location, it's meant to be used in a moving mode, but that's another story. So there we go. I just turned it on. I've had it on charge, fresh battery charge. This is the second run I'm going to make with it. I turned it on yesterday and collected about 24 hours worth of data. I leave it hanging on the porch, which I'll show in a second. And right now the meter's powering up and trying to connect to GPS systems. At that point it gets the correct date and time, which is wrong on the display right now. But this little bit right here, I don't know if you can see it well, but it's saying no GPS, so it has not been able to connect to enough satellites up there to be able to get a GPS location set. Once it does, it'll get a number there and the date and time down below might get corrected. So that's really about it. I'm going to close the cover on this. This is environmentally protected. And hang it up. And there it sits. It's going to sit there for a day or two. Right now it's reading 41 CPM. If you look at the individual readings, you can get nervous. Now we're at 35 CPM. None of these are nervous readings, by the way, but 31 CPM. The average for this area has been for the last, when does Fukushima happen? 2011. So this is 11 years worth of instrument data, measurement data in the Portland area. The meter has been down into Mexico. It's been across most western states. You can actually see where it's been if you go to the SafeCast map. It logs data by location and you upload a file to the SafeCast record. So what is this meter? Why was this significant? It took me a long time to find one I was going to purchase, because they get so expensive when you get the extras like GPS location logging, data logging on the device. This device has a SIM card or memory card I can pull out, and you put in a PC, and then you can look at it and analyze it and upload it to the SafeCast system. And that's just how it works. But the meter significance, this meter, particularly the detector in this meter, its characteristics and the system was designed around this type of detector. It's called a Geiger-Müller tube. That's what it looks like. It's actually directional for alpha and beta radiation. For gamma radiation, it is not directional. It just does not work like that. Although it's significant enough gamma, it can be directional. But it is directional for alpha and beta. The little gold screen you saw covering the detector is an EMF shield to keep spurious electromotive emissions from affecting it, meaning radio transmissions or noise from power lines or the power grid or anything else that might be around you. So this detector, this meter, matches what the civil defense agencies back in World War II used to monitor the Pacific coastline to catch the fallout from radiation from nuclear weapons testing. Radiation, fallout from American weapons tested across the Pacific, from Russian weapons tested across the Pacific, the whole planet. So that's what these are for. That's why it's here. That's just a piece of this monitoring. The electronics in here is very sophisticated. It is an evolution of things that are pretty amazing if you like electronics. So there you go. More data to come. If I do get this uploaded, again, just from looking at it, my 32 number is about where it is, but it comes and goes and it changes. You have to use that technique I mentioned before, period averaging. In this case, long period averaging, to derive an average count for your area. We're looking for changes in that. If a week from now it goes up to a 62 average, then you just have to ask more questions. What caused that? It's part of civil defense training. We used to have, pieces out.